Hello my motor enthusiasts. What a weekend it was at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, eh? Max Verstappen is once again the talk of the town.
Indeed Enzo, his performance was quite remarkable. How did the Red Bull Racing ace come out on top this time?
Well, Verstappen clinched the World Drivers' Championship and celebrated in style. The Las Vegas Strip circuit saw him leading the pack brilliantly.
I imagine Red Bull must be over the moon. What about McLaren's showing? Any highlights with Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri?
Lando and Oscar were full of grit but had their share of challenges. McLaren's MCL38 cars were pushed to the limit, no doubt.
And what about the other competitors? I heard Carlos Sainz was right up there in the mix as well.
Spot on, Mr. William. Sainz kept the pressure on with his Ferrari SF24. It was a thrilling tussle to the finish line.
Sounds riveting. I'm eager to dive deeper into each team's performance. Let us get this episode rolling, shall we?
Hello my motor enthusiasts. You already know me, this is Enzo, and you're joined by William today.
At your service.
We're here at F1 Motor Fever Podcast, same time every day. Make sure to subscribe and ring that bell, folks. It really helps us out. Full throttle. Well, moving on to the specifics, Zach Brown was there as always, overseeing McLaren's efforts with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in their MCL38S. They had quite the task ahead of them at the Las Vegas Strip circuit.
Indeed, and it was fascinating to see how both drivers managed their strategies. How did they fare out on the track?
Lando Norris left the garage with determination, keen to make an impact. Oscar was just as eager, and it was crucial for McLaren to push their limits in such a high-stakes race.
And Max Verstappen, he seemed unstoppable. Driving the Red Bull RB20, he was in a class of his own, wasn't he?
Absolutely right. Verstappen not only secured the championship but celebrated with his team in style. It was a masterclass in driving and team collaboration.
Quite the spectacle, I must say. It's always brilliant to see how these teams and drivers adapt and perform under pressure.
As we delve deeper into the action from the Las Vegas Grand Prix, Max Verstappen was leading Carlos Sainz in quite a dramatic fashion. The Red Bull Racing RB20 was certainly a sight to behold, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Seeing Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari SF24 trying to keep up was thrilling. The Ferrari team has been working tirelessly to match Red Bull's pace.
Meanwhile, Aston Martin was making their presence known. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll were pushing their AMR24S to the limit around the Las Vegas Strip circuit.
Exactly. Alonso's experience combined with Stroll's determination always adds an extra layer of excitement to the grid. And let's not forget Lawrence Stroll in the pit lane, undoubtedly keeping a keen eye on proceedings.
Not to mention Courtney Crone and Nico Hülkenberg making their appearances on track. It was quite the gathering of talent, making the Las Vegas GP an unforgettable event. The atmosphere was simply electric. The Las Vegas GP brought quite a spectacle as well with the Haas F1 team's presence. Nico Hülkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, and their team seemed determined to make a mark. Ayao Komatsu was seen deep in conversation with Romain Grosjean, which added an interesting dynamic to things.
That's true, but one might argue that Haas's performance has been somewhat underwhelming compared to what their potential suggests. It raises the question of whether they are fully maximizing their resources.
You have a point, but I believe the same could be said for other teams as well. It's a highly competitive environment, and each team faces its own unique challenges.
Certainly, yet when you see Max Verstappen overtaking Kevin Magnussen with apparent ease, it does make one ponder the disparity. Perhaps the focus should be on more strategic innovations.
I see where you're coming from. However, innovation requires time and investment, both of which can be limiting factors. The context of each team's circumstances is crucial.
True, but sometimes the bold decisions can be the turning point. It's intriguing to watch how different teams adapt and respond.
I'll concede there's a valid angle there, though I remain skeptical about how feasible it is for every team, given varied constraints.
That's perfectly all right. It's normal to have differing opinions, but it's essential to keep an open mind to other perspectives.
Agreed. I'll definitely consider it further. It's always refreshing to ponder different views. Moving on to the Visa Cash App RB team, we saw quite a bit of attention on Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Lawson, in particular, was really pushing the VCARB 01 to its limits on the track.
Indeed, and having Jerry Ferrara and Kevin Dillon around added a bit of glitz to the occasion. It's always interesting to see celebrities taking an interest in the sport.
Absolutely. And you know, while the Visa Cash App RB team might not be at the very top of the standings just yet, there's a lot of promise for the future. Liam Lawson's driving showed glimpses of potential that could very well translate into stronger performances down the line.
Yes, optimism is certainly warranted. The team seems to be laying down a strong foundation, and as they continue to refine their strategies, I reckon we could see them climbing up the grid in future races.
Precisely. It's all about building momentum and seizing those moments of brilliance. With the right support and development, the positives can definitely outweigh any current challenges.
I agree. It's the progress that matters in the long run. Making the most of current strengths can pave the way for even greater success.
Speaking of the recent Las Vegas Grand Prix, the scene with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton securing a 1-2 finish for Mercedes reminded me of a similar race last season. It was when Mercedes executed a perfect strategy to grab those top 2 spots amidst challenging conditions. It was quite reminiscent of this race, wasn't it?
Indeed, and funnily enough, it brings to mind an event I experienced at Silverstone. I remember witnessing a thrilling race where the weather played a crucial role, just like in Las Vegas. The drivers had to adapt quickly, and it resulted in some unexpected position changes.
Silverstone always has a way of throwing surprises, doesn't it? The weather there can be as unpredictable as the strategies unfolding on the track. It's fascinating how these races, despite their differences, share such similarities in the challenges they present.
Absolutely. It's these unpredictable elements that keep the sport so engaging for the fans and the teams alike. The strategies that emerge from such situations are nothing short of extraordinary. You know, hearing about Max Verstappen's 4th world title got me reminiscing about my own childhood. I remember when I was a lad, I used to pretend to be a racing driver in our backyard. I had this little pedal car and I would race around, imagining crossing the finish line as a champion. It's remarkable how those childhood dreams can spark a lifelong passion for the sport.
That sounds like a wonderful memory. It's those early inspirations that often lead to incredible careers and lifelong interests. And here we are, all these years later, discussing a real-life champion who's living out that dream on the world stage.
It's true. Watching these drivers achieve such milestones definitely takes me back. It's not just about the races, but the stories and dreams that each driver carries with them. It adds a personal touch to the sport we all love.
Indeed, and Verstappen's journey this season has been quite a tale of perseverance and skill. His ability to overcome tough challenges with what many would consider a less competitive package makes his victory all the more impressive.
Yes, it's a testament to his determination and the depth of talent in Formula One. The narratives weaved through these seasons are what keep us all so enthralled.
It's fascinating how tyre strategies played such a pivotal role in the race. I mean, who would have thought that starting on the hard tyres would be the best choice, allowing them to go the longest without stopping? I think maybe it's time I try my hand at being a race strategist. I reckon I could have predicted Perez, Bottas, and Colapinto starting on hards from a mile away.
Ha ha ha, well, it certainly was a strategy that paid off for some, though I'm not sure all of us could have foreseen every detail.
Oh, I jest. Truth be told, I expected all of them to start on wets, given the dry conditions.
Good heavens, I almost believed you. You had me going there for a second. Wet tires in the desert, now that would make for an interesting spectacle.
Indeed, it would. But in all seriousness, watching those drivers manage their tires so skillfully was quite something. It's incredible how a single decision like tire choice can have such a massive impact on the outcome of a race.
Absolutely, and it's what keeps us on the edge of our seats. The complexity of these decisions and the way they unfold throughout the race is what makes Formula One so enthralling.
It's been quite the season, hasn't it? McLaren taking the lead in the constructor standings is a bit unexpected, especially considering their position just a few seasons ago. It's a testament to their development and strategy.
Quite right, seeing McLaren at the top is refreshing. And the competition has been fierce, with Ferrari and Red Bull close on their heels. Every race feels like a crucial showdown.
Indeed, and the midfield battle is just as captivating. Look at Haas and Alpine, neck and neck for 6th place. Makes you appreciate the depth of talent across the grid.
Absolutely, and let's not forget the remarkable efforts from the drivers. Hulkenberg securing 8th for Haas and Tsunoda's 9th for the Visa Cash App team are definitely notable performances.
It's those kinds of results that can make all the difference in the constructor standings. Aston Martin and Visa Cash App are not far behind, each fighting for every point.
Yes, and with teams like Williams and Kick Sauber working hard to secure their own share of success, it keeps every position interesting. The developments this season have been genuinely thrilling.
Definitely, and as we approach the final races, the anticipation just builds. It's seasons like this that remind us why Formula One is such a phenomenal sport to follow. How about we take a look at what the internet's buzzing about today?
Alright, I've got something interesting here. It seems there's been a bit of news about Formula One potentially gaining a new team. Chris Medland announced that F1 has reached an agreement in principle with General Motors to bring GM and Cadillac as the 11th team on the grid in 2026. Quite the shake-up.
Oh, that's bound to stir the pot in the driver market.
Definitely. Call Me New started a thread with, quote, driver market about to go wild mid-2025, unquote. It's like they're predicting a frenzy.
I can imagine the speculation on who might secure a seat with the new team.
Absolutely, there's a suggestion from beloved Redditor, who said, quote, time to put Bottas and Ricciardo together. The team of secondaries, unquote. Quite cheeky, but it would indeed be a formidable pairing.
Haha, a team of experienced second drivers could be something to watch. Anything else in there?
Yes, Master Spinach 2294 mentioned, quote, it's funny how many people think there's no chance Colton Herta gets the seat in spite of the Cadillac F1 team being functionally the same exact entry as the Andretti Cadillac F1 proposal, unquote. Seems like the rumor mill is in full swing with potential American drivers.
There's always an air of mystery around these things, isn't there?
Indeed, and Flying Cranes added, quote, have a feeling we're going to see a lot of veteran drivers come back to the grid in 2026, unquote. They reckon the teams will need experienced feedback with new regulations.
Interesting point. Bringing veterans back for their experience could be a strategic move. It's a fascinating time to be a fan of the sport, that's for sure. Thanks for tuning into F1 Motor Fever podcast today. We've journeyed through McLaren's remarkable rise, the latest updates with General Motors potentially entering F1, and much more. It's been fantastic having you all here with us. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our episodes. It really does mean the world to us. Share our channel with your Formula One groups on WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and even when you're out grabbing a coffee or meeting up with friends. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comments.
And we're here for you every day, so don't miss our next episode. Keep an eye out because there's always something exciting on the horizon in the world of F1.
We truly appreciate your support and can't wait to catch up with you in the next episode.
Pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road, our channel's content is pure gold.